Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. This is April 17th. I'm Teacher Mark, and this is Class 5A. Today, we're going to continue with what we started in math yesterday with multiplying decimals. I think the work yesterday and today, I think each one's a little bit less because it's kind of a new thing, and I don't want to overwhelm us, at least at first. So, I think yesterday and today the lessons are a little bit shorter, but I want to make sure that everybody understands because I don't want to go too far too fast and have a bunch of people get lost in things. So yeah, we're just sort of laying the groundwork right now for what we're going to continue doing really in the future, working with decimals and things. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a continuation from yesterday, adding on a little bit more. With language arts, there's a mini lesson video that I explain this a little bit more, but today we're just going to read this part of the wonder story about lunch. We all go to lunch. You know what it's like in that room. It's very different than the classroom. So we get to see Augie again in a different situation and how people treat him, how he feels. It's quite long today, the reading, so I didn't want to make it to be too much. So that's all we really have to do today is just read the story because really it's reading it shouldn't be a chore, it should be fun. And I think today's reading is fun because, again, with this story, it's so easy to put yourself in his shoes. You know, if you can just picture yourself at lunch, being the new student, not knowing any of those people, or if you were sitting at lunch and you saw the new student coming in, you know, I think it's easy to think about those things. So when we're reading today, let's maybe try and think about that. In English, there's another video about what we're going to do in there today, but the mini lesson explains the activity we're going to do, which is just write a paragraph imagining that Augie is coming to lunch and some things you might say to him to make him feel welcome. I explained it a little bit more in the other video, and I have some examples. There's a little link with some ideas and also a little paragraph that kind of gives you a guide as to how to get started. And the last thing, because this part of the reading is so long, there are quite a few different characters in it too, a lot of names and things, and it can be challenging, I think, to remember who's who. So there's a little link to a video from the movie where you get to see one of the characters, Summer, and how she interacts with Augie at lunchtime today. So that little video is part of what we read, but I just think it's good to have a visual picture sometimes. So yeah, we get to just write a paragraph today explaining those things that we would do to make Augie feel welcome. And finally, in science class today, we have a Zoom class, and I was just going to share the things that you guys came up with and that you drew. The drawings were excellent. I knew you guys were talented in that way. I didn't realize so talented in so many ways, I guess. But yeah, the ideas that you had were really, really good, and that's all I really wanted to do today was share some examples of solids, liquids, and gases. Some I think are pretty easy to come up with, water, things like that. You know, a rock is a solid and things, but I think there are some that are things that we see quite often that you maybe don't really think about, like things in your home and stuff like that. So I was going to see if maybe we could think of some ideas of, you know, solids, liquids, and gases that you can just find in your home. Especially gases. Those ones are a little trickier. You know, it's hard. I think it's harder because you can't see those in the same way that you can, you know, like a liquid or a solid usually. So that's all we're going to do today. Just share the things that we drew, some of the examples that we thought of, and then see if we can find some things at home. But other than that, that's basically it for me. I hope you guys are having a great day when you read or when you finally see this. And if you have any questions about any of these things along the way, just let me know. The reading's kind of long, so if there's any questions about what it means or some of the characters, feel free to ask me. Other than that, have a lovely day. Happy Friday. I'll see you guys a little bit later.